Hey everyone, this is Brian Kaz here, joined by my friend and business partner Sean Casey. We have an exciting call for you today for the Webfire Wednesday call. We'll be on 3 ways to basically get largely untapped traffic sources and such. So my screen's acting a little funky currently. I think GoTo is loading a bit slow, but any second now you should hopefully see my screen. Whole thing just turned black for me, but I think it's still working right here. So we'll just give this a minute to, oh, there it goes, I think. All right, Sean, do you see my screen fine?
Yeah, it just popped.
All right. Yeah, it's being really, really slow, so hopefully no issues take place here, but if not, we'll make sure to sort through this real fast. So anyway, without further ado again, welcome to another Webfire Wednesday webinar. And this one, again, will be 3 largely untapped traffic sources as well as tricks. So it seems like people always enjoy new traffic methods, so you guys will get a few new ones on today's call. And as always, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can feel free to ask those in the chat box. And at the end of the call, we'll give some cash away as well. So make sure to stay tuned for all that right there. So without further ado, we'll get the show on the road. So once again, I know there's a handful of new people on this call, and every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is right about now, we'll host a live training and or Q&A call for our Webfire members. These calls will either feature myself, Brian Kaz, Sean Casey, both of us at once, or occasionally a featured special guest if we think that their expertise would be of value to our members. But usually I'd say about 4/5 or more of the calls usually are just us. If you're here or registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week so you don't forget. If you can't make one, we'll have the recordings in the members area within a day of any of the calls under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. You'll click on essentially training, and then you'll see Wednesday calls or Wednesday trainings, and you'll see them listed basically in the order that the calls are done. So the most recent one will be at the very top. And again, it usually takes about a half day to a day tops for a new call to show up. So by this time to tomorrow for sure, you'll see the replay up there. And as a side note, guys, too, we've been in the middle of a handful of upgrades, especially on the server. So in the past week, we've done a lot of upgrades on the server. Most of it was to improve the real-time lead finder tool. We have some pretty massive server resources on that side. So for the last week or so, leads there might be less than normal because the servers would not have been at full power as we're basically in the middle of the transfer. But going forward, that should all be fine and get even more leads and such. We'll also have a very short outage tonight as we do another update as well. That shouldn't last long, but it'll probably be like, I'm guessing, a 15 to 30 minute downtime later tonight as we do another upgrade right there. So just wanted to announce that. Normally, there never would be any major downtime or anything like that, but just want to make a quick announcement on that. And now you'll want to use these calls as an opportunity to get even more training, ask strategy type questions, get feedback or make suggestions on what else you'd like to be trained on. And as a special note, make sure to basically check out our prior trainings and calls and such as well, as there's a ton of info there already, and a lot of you oftentimes are asking for more training on a certain topic when we've basically covered like several calls on just that topic. So make sure to check the prior calls and trainings out first, because you'll probably find lots of stuff that will be completely relevant to what you're trying to get some info on and such. And really quick, we'll cover the Webfire member rules to success, number one, follow the steps and the trainings that we have. If something does not seem to work right for you, make sure to follow the trainings and steps first, because we find like 90% of the time, usually people tend to skip a step or skip essentially all the steps of the trainings as a whole. Number two, don't give up. This means, seek help when needed, but at the same time, don't get too dependent. If you can basically Google an answer within like seconds, make sure to do that. But if you legitimately get stuck, that's what we're here for. You can either ask on our live calls every Wednesday, or you can email our support, and we'll always get back to you in one business day or less, usually within a matter of like an hour or two, unless it's like 3 in the morning. And with that too, ideally try to use the help desk first and foremost, because if ever there's like an email issue, you can always log into the help desk and see an answer right there. Otherwise, email's fine, but occasionally, replies and stuff can go to your spam and stuff like that, so make sure to check there. And lastly, no whining or negative attitudes. We really find that's basically the quickest way to fail. If you come in with a negative attitude, you'll always find something to be down about, and that makes it very hard to really succeed in business or even, go too far in life as a whole there. So now let's move on to our training for this week on 3 largely untapped traffic sources and tricks. And here's a summary of the 3, and I'll go over specifically what the sources and tricks are one by one. So of the 3 traffic sources and tricks, the first one is a trick to gaining free publicity and traffic in under 5 minutes a day. And you don't even have to do that every day if you don't want. So super, super easy. The second one is what I call the split personality Q&A trick. And this includes a completely white hat method as well as what I call a gray hat method as well. So it's not quite black hat, but it's kind of one where definitely a gray hat. But I'll share with you both the white hat way and the gray hat way to get some good traffic and such there. Then lastly, we'll talk about a cool way to share short presentations to gain lots of traffic and publicity as well. So first one, free publicity in 5 minutes a day. Journalists are always looking for quotes, answers, and short interviews from experts in all sorts of niches. And don't think that, hey, you're not an expert in this or that. If you have a guide or a report or a tool or a website in any topic, in the eyes of almost everyone, you're an expert there. And if you don't think you are an expert, spend a half hour basically Googling answers and Googling content, and you can be an expert in almost anything. So don't overthink that at all. Because anytime like a journalist is writing, an article for a magazine or a newspaper, or sometimes even for like the radio or TV, they're always looking for ways to basically get quotes and stuff and talk to people that are basically in the field that they might have a question on. So one great site, which is free, is helpareporter.com. It's a great service that you can sign up for free, where a few times a day, reporters ask questions that you can easily answer the relevant ones in minutes. They can actually email you the requests and stuff there, and it's not like you have to actually answer anyone. You don't have to if you don't want, but on anyone that seems like it's relevant to your topic or relevant to you, you can basically answer, submit your stuff, and then they can then pick the ones that they like to use, which can get you a ton of free publicity and traffic when they pick you. And usually it's like they don't just pick one, that they usually like to get like quotes and stuff from a few sources. So if you're, let's say you have a website or a guide on how to lose weight. A reporter might be writing, let's say an article on a certain kind of workout or the best way to diet, or something like that, where they'll reach out to a site like this. They'll ask a question. It might be like, hey, what is your opinion of this kind of diet, or what is your opinion of this versus that, or just any kind of a generic question. And if you answer it, if they like the answer that you give, they can quote you as well as a handful of other people on that, and you can have your name, sometimes even your website or business is mentioned, which again can get you free publicity, traffic, and more importantly, make you seem like a legitimate expert, which can help lead to even more stuff right there. And again, it doesn't have to take much time. I mean, literally, like if you take 5 minutes a day and go through essentially the questions, and then just answer whichever ones seem most relevant to you. It doesn't have to take more than 5 or 10 minutes a day, and you can get some free publicity through that for free. Other things that you can do to help with the comparable concept would be to have a relevant LinkedIn profile, because oftentimes reporters and journalists will search there too to try to find experts. Also to have a relevant blog. This is if a reporter or a journalist does like a search on Google trying to look for experts or those that have a blog, or if you have like a book or like an ebook on Amazon, anything like that can help them find you too. But helpareporter.com specifically is a service designed just for that. So that's kind of a cool little trick right there, and again, doesn't have to take that much time at all right there. And for those that take a few minutes to actually write a couple answers back, it's not like everyone will necessarily pick you, but of the ones that do, it can work very, very, very well. So the second method or trick is what I call the split personality Q&A trick. So Q&A sites, which stands for question and answer sites like Yahoo Answers or Quora, are great for not only finding leads, but having those answers rank with the relevant keywords in the question. So if someone asks a question like, what's a good way to lose weight for women over 50, okay? If you answer that, there's a good chance that if someone does a search on Google or Yahoo for a keyword like how to lose weight for women over 50 or anything like that, there's a good chance that that question will basically rank, because they tend to rank really well for the keywords in the questions, and they'll see the answer that you gave will show up there as well. So it's a great way to get publicity. And if you mention like resources or blogs or videos or anything like that, they can help drive traffic and such too on top of the publicity. So Yahoo Answers is just answers.yahoo.com, and Quora is just Quora.com right there, which you see listed off on that slide. Now, searching these or using the Q&A finder inside a web fire can help identify good questions to actually answer, especially newer ones, which is, again, completely white hat and recommended, because if someone's asking a question, again, you want to basically jump on that. That's one of the reasons why we made that tool inside a web fire, and that's completely white hat. However, there's also a gray hat trick that can work, and I want to share this, and it's up to you whether you want to use it or not. It's definitely gray hat instead of the white hat trick, and the example that you can do is you can have two accounts on Yahoo Answers. You can ask a question on one and answer on another. So if there's a certain kind of keyword or something that you want to rank for, you can make sure that you use that keyword in the question itself, and then wait a bit, basically answer on another account. Now, it helps if you obviously can't use the same email. It's better if you don't have it from like the same IP or anything like that. But it's a cool trick that can work, especially if you don't see an actual question that matches what you're trying to search for initially. But even so, if you want to be completely white hat, you can just wait until a person asks that kind of question right there. And in most niches and topics, you usually don't have to wait long to find lots of people asking questions and such right there. So I want to share both those methods with you right there, the white hat as well as the gray hat way. So that was kind of a cool little trick right there that can work well. The third way is what I call sharing short presentations. And this is basically another way to get content out there that can rank well, is by essentially sharing slides or documents like PowerPoints, PDFs, so on and so forth. slideshare.net is a great place that lets you upload such content and share it, which, it then can not only help rank, some really well, but some sites automatically share relevant slides for you automatically through them too. So there's some sites there, like if there's a site on the health niche or golf, there's some blogs out there that automatically share and distribute such slides from slideshare.net that are related to keywords on those sites. So it can be a great way to drive additional traffic and such there. Now, however, with that, you want to make sure that you have catchy, keyword-rich titles and headlines, because that's what tends to work best. And then usually short, like slides or presentations, like 10 slides or pages long is fine. And you don't want to have a ton of text. Like you're not trying to write like a book or anything like that. Even one-liners are good, as well as like a mix of graphics and such too. The more they pop, the better. And these are best for explaining simple concepts that people might search for. For instance, if you sell mopeds or you're an affiliate of mopeds, a lot of people might have a question like, and I only know this from when I, like many years ago, when I looked for a moped, I didn't really know what differences were between a 50cc, 100cc, or 150cc engine in a moped. So I did searches like that, like, what is the difference between this and that, and this would be the kind of thing that would be great for a simple slide, like, hey, what are the differences, what are the pros and cons of each one? Or if you want to write like a review, you can have slides that list like the pros and cons and bullet points, which, again, just simple stuff, like, far less text than what you see on this slide right here. You just have, again, short, like a few key points tops on each slide. Even just one key point on each slide is fine. And that, again, can work real well. And again, another example is like, let's say, using the weight loss niche. Let's say you have a topic like, the best 10 foods to eat for weight loss. You could have one slide for each food. You could use a graphic on it as well as a name, and you could give like a sentence as to why it's good, or like the top 10 foods to avoid, or for like golf, let's say, you could have slides that are like, hey, the five easy tips to improve your golf swing, and just mention, I'm not a golfer, so I'm not quite sure what that might be, but if you are, you would probably know. Some slides there can get hundreds of thousands of views or more if the topic is good and relevant to what people search for. And again, it shows up both on SlideShare itself, as well as oftentimes on Google and Yahoo, as well as they're shared on lots of sites oftentimes, and they can show up on social media, on other sites, and they can drive a lot of traffic. So I'll just pause the screen for a second as I show off a few examples there. So hopefully GoTo doesn't freak out on me like it did at the start of this call. I'm just going to switch over screens. It's being a bit slow today. All right. And Sean, as it looks like it's being a bit slow to switch, but as it takes like a minute or so to
it really is as slow as you think it is.
Yeah. So as we wait for it to load the screen, if you see any questions or anything like that, maybe ask one or two of those, and then
so the first question is, why isn't Brian faster? I don't know why people ask that, but that was the first question. No, I'm just kidding. Somebody asked a good question, just so everybody's clear. What do you mean by white hat? And so white hat means you're the good guys. If you sat in the room with Google reps and you said, this is what I'm doing to generate links, generate rankings, everything else, they'd be like, that's great. We have absolutely no problem with that. That's completely legit. Black hat would be the opposite, where you're like sneaking, being nasty. You're doing stuff that they wouldn't consider to be appropriate. You're trying to game the system. And so the flip side of that would be that, black hat, when Google catches something that you're doing that's black hat for sites. That's when you'll see stories about sites that disappear from the rankings all of a sudden because Google in their update figures out, oh, you know what, this guy's not being legit in what they're doing, and they just whack the site and throw it out. Everything we teach you to do, all the WebFire tools, etc., all white hat, because we want to be long-lived in our success, not going after something short-term. We're like, wow, this is going to work really awesome for maybe a week or two, but might get slammed right after that. So that's why Brian was making clear between the two of them. And no, Brian, your screen has not yet changed.
Yep. Looks like it's still loading, but there. So
probably because you're using a Mac. That's why.
No, it's. I've seen like
you're up now on SlideShare.
Okay. Yeah. For whatever reason, go to loaded really slow for me today, so it seems to be still kind of slow, but looks like it's up now. So this is slideshare.net right here, which is the one I was just basically talking about. And I just want to show off a few examples of, like, good slides like these. These are ones that have gotten a lot of views. You see right here. Here are, again, some new ones that are fairly new. And you see like one, like, look, this is from, updated like a minute ago, has over 140,000 views. Here's one over 170,000 views. And you see like most of these ones that get a lot of views or appear good, tend to have either graphics in them or like very short headlines and such. Like here's one, like 3 things every sales team needs to be thinking about in 2017. And my guess is they probably last year had one called in 2016. They probably just changed that because the text looks a little different. Yeah, and then if let's just click on that one, and we'll see what that looks like. So this case is a longer one. It's 50 slides long. Most of them are recommended you have it around like 10 slides or so. But you see here, each one usually a line or two or so. At tops, maybe have like a couple bullet points. This isn't hard at all. So you see, there's not really, it's not like it's a long entire page of content or anything like that right there. Let's do another one. Become a thought leader in your niche. So again, you can kind of get like an idea. And again, you don't have to have like fancy graphics on each one or anything like that. But again, very, very easy. Like just a simple line of text or two on each one. This one has a handful full of bullet points and stuff. But again, very easy stuff. Even if you want to have like, a basic one that's just like text with like a colored background, that's fine too. Like something like this right here. And the way that you can make these is if you have like PowerPoint, that can make slides like this. That's probably the easiest way. There's a handful of like free slide maker tools out there if you were to Google it, but PowerPoint or Keynote are probably my favorite two. PowerPoint's probably my top one right there, and then you can actually upload the PowerPoint file itself, or you can also upload a PDF as well. So this is kind of like a document sharing type thing, and this is actually owned by LinkedIn, but it tends to rank very well and tends to get lots of views. Like right here, I mean, here's another one, 63,000 views. Right there. It's getting all funky here.
But now we went to black, so now we don't have any funkiness left. Hey, while you're getting your screen to come back up, Beth asks, can you explain why you're doing the slide share? Brian? Okay. Either I lost Brian or everybody lost Brian. And the funny part is, with this massive storm in the southeastern U.S. that's like, I mean, it was thundering when I got out of bed this morning. It's still thunder, lightning, pouring rain, and he's having a problem. So anyway, we're having a great time. Somebody said, I guess you're going to have to become the expert. All right. Yeah, Brian disappeared. All right. So we didn't even anywhere. So can you put your link in the slide share? Yes. So when you do the slide share, we can, what you can do is you can put up specific things for that. Hang on a second. Let me, okay. So now, Lord willing, and the creek doesn't rise further behind my house, we should be in good shape to see a screen now. Assuming you can see my screen, we can actually talk about this. Good. So we're back on SlideShare. Okay. Where
All
Brian
right.
started. Hey, Brian came back.
Yeah, it kicked me out for whatever reason, and now I'm back. Is it on your slide now, Sean?
Yeah. Now it's mine. You can grab the presentation mode back because I know you've got more to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Let's.
So while you're doing that, there's a couple questions. And Sharon, if you can answer Cindy's question about not being able to hear, because she obviously isn't going to hear one from me. And for those of you who always wonder, well, are these things really live? Yes, they are, because if this was not live, I would have edited this out of the video. So anyway, so what can you do with these screen shares? These slide shares let you share different content just about whatever it is you might want to, be able to talk about. And some of them are presentations that people have done at events or a training at some place or whatever. Some of them are simply what people have done to market and promote their business. Someone's asking, can you put your link at the bottom of this? Yes, you can. You notice this top slide right here has a link right here that's probably their Twitter handle or something, or maybe Twitter, Instagram, everything else, right? So you can feel free to very specifically tag all of them with your information.
Yeah, and there's some, like, you'll see a lot of examples where they'll like bluntly mention their website link on the slides and all that. So yeah, that's all fine, right there. So Sean, if you can feel free to switch me back to the. Oh,
I thought you were just going to take control.
Let's just so it has me as a panelist. It won't allow me to change that, but we can just leave that on your slide. The Q&A soon, but as I was saying, like the easiest way to
now you're the presenter.
Okay, there we go. So the easiest way to essentially make these, again, would be like PowerPoint or as a PDF or really like any kind of document you have, you can upload here. But typically ones that tend to get like the most views are ones that, tend to look more like a slideshow or like a PowerPoint. And in that case, if you just upload essentially the PowerPoint file, it will turn it into a nice one like this for you. And yes, it takes a little work, but again, not much if you think about it. So it's like if you had like, let's say in the weight loss niche, again, like let's say 10 slides on like 10 foods that can help with weight loss. I mean, how hard is it to have like, one line per slide where you either mention a food, and if you want to get really fancy, add like an actual image on it too. And one trick.
Right, and remember, guys, you can just take an article that you have and turn it into a PowerPoint slide simply by copying and pasting out the content from the article. You need to think about how you can repurpose your content. You use these things in both places.
Yeah, and so, and again, you can see like some of these here, again, just a ton of views, and that's just straight from this site itself. Now, there's more views that they can get when there's other sites and stuff that share those, so it can go up, even more. But especially when you target them well with like a keyword. So if you have a title like right here, if you have a title that's geared towards a keyword, especially if you use like the keyword tool, inside of Webfire, to find ones that are easier to rank on page 1. If you target those, right there, you'll have a very good chance to actually have your slideshows show up and rank well right there, because the SlideShare itself comes with a lot of authority. So that's a cool trick there. Yes, it takes a little time, but if you think about it, you can whip out one in less than a half hour easily. And if you do like one a week, that's not too hard to actually do. And as you get really good, you can repurpose content. So stuff that you turn into like a video and use the video Firestorm tool on, you can turn around and turn it into like just like a slideshow and use it on here and such. So with that, guys, we'll go to the Q&A. So if you guys have any specific questions on any of this stuff or anything else, we can answer those. And then in a bit, we'll do the giveaway. So let me just look at the...
Right, so Paul asked, can you make a Facebook ad and put in a link to the ad that goes to the SlideShare presentation? Sure, you can definitely do that where you're popping in, and because you want to promote your SlideShare and move it up the link to get views. But even, and you would get really cheap clicks from doing that, because it's obviously not a sales thing. It's like, hey, watch this cool SlideShare. Okay? But the other thing you could do with that, if you're going to do it, is think about how you could promote this for free. So you've got interesting, informative content. You could, instead of just only running ads or not even running ads, you could go to Facebook groups or Facebook pages where people are interested in the topic, and you could share your SlideShare there, right? And you just get free views, right? All right, Beth asked, if people use your share, does it help with SEO? It isn't using your share that helps with SEO. It's the fact that this is sitting over there, and it is going to generate you traffic when people view it. And you're saying, come to my site, you end the share with, anytime you do anything like this, a video, an article, anything else, right? You always want to end with a call to action, right? The call to action is visit my site, or go get a free report, or get a free video, or get free software, or go to my store and buy something. Whatever it is you want people to do when they're done consuming your content, watching your video, going through your slides, right? You want them to do something that generates a lead or a sale for you. And so that's what you'd want to be able to tell them to do, is you're getting free traffic because you're simply posting this up on SlideShare, and that alone is getting it out in front of people, because these things, as you can see, get consumed and viewed by a lot of people. Very, very common. Tom, no, these SlideShares are just the slides. If you want to, you would obviously, if you're gonna voice over the slides and turn it into a video, I mean, that's where you could obviously take exactly the same slides, turn it into a video, put it up on YouTube. You can take the same content inside of Webfire, okay, and turn it into video slides and have video automatically made by Webfire in our video tool, right? So you could take the same article, use it on a website, turn it into a SlideShare, turn it into a video using Webfire or voice over it yourself, whatever you want to do, and load it up to YouTube and other video sites along the way with that. Jay, no, SlideShare is not on Webfire. SlideShare.net is a separate site, and so that's a site that you can use without needing to buy anything. It's free. They provide the service because it generates traffic and people click on ads, and so it's an ad-driven revenue model for them. For us, it's a way to get free traffic from people seeing all those things. Amelia asked, can you put a SlideShare, in SlideShare, can you put a link to an opt-in page? Sure, you can put a link to anything you want to. I mean, I would definitely, if I'm doing this, not just list my website, unless my main website page was where people would come and opt in. I'd be listing a page that would go, I want them to go to where they could opt in, and then I would have my last slide certainly be for more info, for a free report, for free video, whatever, go to this site, and that link I would definitely want to have be a place where they could opt in and get on my list.
Yeah, and don't overthink this too much. Like the presentation that I have right here, I literally could take the PowerPoint slides and upload that to slideshare.net. That's all I would have to do. Now, obviously, if someone sees like Webfire webinar training, that might not be the best keyword to try to rank for. Versus, in this case, I would probably change the headline to something like, I'd probably use the keyword tool to try to see if there's any like traffic type terms that maybe don't have a ton of competition, where I could try to then, like let's say secret traffic sources was a keyword, and I'm not saying it is, but let's say it is, you would have it in the title like, 3 secret traffic sources for 2017, or, some term like that would work well. And then you literally just upload it through the upload link there. So again, don't overthink that. And yes, the traffic that you can get here, it can count as a backlink in a way, sure, but you're also just getting a lot of exposure, and, you can get a lot of traffic off that too. So it's not just, hey, I have the benefit of a backlink. It's, hey, you can get a lot of extra traffic and such this way too. I mean, this is like especially useful even if you're writing like affiliate reviews and such. Just turn your like review into like a little slideshow, and with Video Firestorm, you can even turn that very easily into a video. Through our tool. At the same time, you can take essentially, a PowerPoint or a PDF and turn that into a slideshow too. And we've actually talked about possibly making like a quick way to turn like a video into a slideshow too, which we will probably do in the near future at some point, but it's fairly easy to do by hand here too. So we just thought we'd want to share that.
And yes, you can add videos to SlideShare, because several people have asked that, and so yes, you can do that.
All right, so Ron asked, do you have any information about how to collect payments from local businesses in a distant city? Well, Ron, the good news is because of the internet, doesn't matter where a person is. As long as they have access to the net, they can pay you anywhere. Easiest way would be over PayPal. Don't overthink that. If they're in Russia or South Africa or Ireland or UK or Australia or the US, it doesn't matter at all in all cases. Well, in almost all cases, there's a handful of countries that might not have PayPal, but you just have them pay you over that, and you can sign up for a free PayPal account if you don't have one, and you can accept money from anywhere in the world. So don't overthink that. Collecting money is the easiest issue that you'll have right there. All right. Okay.
Okay, and if anybody has any other question, type it in. All right, Cynthia, got a question for you, Brian, on the new Webfire feature about seeing types of advertising competitors are doing.
Who?
Cynthia says you mentioned a new Webfire feature that will allow people to see the types of advertising competitors are doing.
Yep, so right now we have a beta version that works on Windows. The Mac one is in the works, so that will probably take a little while longer, but on the Windows side, you actually can play around with that a little bit right now. Now, it is like a very early beta, so it's not by any means like the final version. But if you go under the competition tab on the left side nav bar, and then you click on backlinks, you'll see the competition backlink tool. Click that, and that's the tool that allows you, in fact, rather than just basically talk about it, why don't I just show that to you? So yeah, and as a side note, guys, as I switch my screen
you
over,
say that like your computer will work.
Yeah, so that I'm saying it seems to work now that it basically turned off everything. Ever since I re-signed in, it seems to be working smooth. So who knows? But as I do that, if you guys want to partake in the $100 cash giveaway, where each week we give out $100, just make a comment in our Facebook group. And if you're not a member of the group, sign up right now and you'll get approved within like a minute. But go to getwebfire.com/FB group and it will forward to our Facebook page, which again is all free. And then Sharon has a post up basically asking what you thought of the call. If you leave a comment in that post right there, we'll pick a random winner shortly here. But I'm just pause my screen here as I go and show off that feature. And it seems to be working all smooth now, so fingers crossed. Let me just sign in real quick. So I just have the screen paused as I sign in. But yeah, so it's just under basically competition backlink tool. On the lower right side of all the features, there's a little checkbox that says something to the extent of, you know, do you want to search for ads, or it has the word ads in it, and what it will basically do, it will display the ads and such, you know, from all those sites, so you can get a pretty good preview of what all that is. So. So, all right, so you just go right here where it says competition. You click that, click on backlinks. And now in my case, I'm on a Mac now, so I actually can't show this off currently because we'll have it available for the Mac soon, but because we have to code both sides separately, the Windows was done first, and since that was done first, we just thought we would add that in as essentially an experimental beta right now. So in that case, you just check yes, where, I mean, right now it's no. You check yes if you're on Windows, and when it does a search, it will show all the normal info that this will show, but it will also show the ads and such, which is kind of a cool way to spy to see what currently is being advertised, what the ads look like, and really awesome way to also then keep in mind this tool right here. It allows you to quickly and easily contact all those sites too. So if you want to inquire about, you know, advertising on those sites or anything like that, or inquire about a JVD or, you know, a JV deal or guest blog posting or anything like that, you certainly can right there. So I can't actually show that off because I'm on a Mac now, but you just see ads show up right there. And once the Mac side's done in the near future, on a future call, I'll show it off in essentially a lot more detail and go through a handful of uses that you can do with that. That's pretty cool. There's also a handful of other features and updates and tools and stuff that we're working on, which will be included for free inside of WebFire. And once those are done on a near future call, I'll go through all those as well. Just have to wait for them to all be wrapped up there. All right. Okay, and Tom asks, can you find keywords being used on a site? Yes, you certainly can actually. If you actually analyze any site you want, it will show you how basically optimized they are for a keyword. It will allow you to spy on their title tag, on their, you know, headers, on the description tag, so you can clearly see what they're trying to basically target in those right there. All right. All right, and as far as the training and such goes, just to show that off real quick. So if you click on training right here, if you click on Wednesday training, that's the main ones. Like that's what these calls are. The most recent ones will be right here on top, like this is last week. So this call right here will be up there within a day, and it will be called, like, you know, 3 Untapped traffic sources and tricks, or some short name like that, and that will show up right there, and you kind of see all those. There's, again, a ton of them. We also allow you to search by stuff in their title too and such. And we also have some other training and such here, like we have a lot of videos and such. This is essentially an archive of like prior trainings and calls and stuff that you can access under the training right there. So there's tons and tons and tons of them there. And this is an event that we did right here where we, as a bonus, threw up the slides from that. So again, all that is right there. I saw there was a couple guys asking questions on where the training and such was.
Okay, Brian. So a couple questions.
Sure.
So one, while you're in the site, somebody said when they log in, they see a +5 or a number flashing underneath when they first log in. You want to explain what that leveling up and the points are?
Yep. So that is, let me just go back to the main dashboard. So what that is right there, that's just, that's a feature that they're basically working on in like a beta. We'll fine tune that a bit more, but essentially what that will do, the more you use it, you get like essentially bonus points, and it levels you up. And once you reach a certain level, we were basically talking about giving guys like a special prize. So we haven't really fine-tuned that yet, but that will be soon. And that essentially, will make it easier. Whereas, like, if you use a handful of the tools, you'll move up a lot more. Right now, because it's just being worked on, it actually loads up, or it actually increases very slowly. So if you use it a ton, it won't really increase too much. But that's because it's not currently being used yet much. But they have it on, and we'll make an announcement when that's all set and ready. So that's why you see that for right now. If you see any other questions, I see a lot.
Oh yeah, they're typing a lot of questions. Okay. Here we go. So April asked, are you coming to London this year? And the answer is yes, I am. And more importantly, probably, really, am I going to do a training when I'm in London? And yes, I am. So if you want to mark down this date, we'll be sending out an email and contacting everybody. So if you're in the UK, you want to be in the UK, you want an excuse to take a business trip to London, this is a good excuse. The date is, it's going to be a one-day training, and it's free to WebFire members. And hang on, I got to look at what date it is. It's the first Saturday in May, so it's June 3rd. So we'll be sending out all the information on when it is, where it is, but it will be there.
Yeah, so just to catch you, Sean, you accidentally said the first Saturday of May, and then you said the first week of June.
Oh, sorry, first Saturday in June. Yep. Sorry, that's what happens when I'm looking at the calendar at the same time. First Saturday in June, June 3rd, 3rd of June. It'll be like 9 to 5 in the, it's in Kensington, in the West End of London. So those of you that were there last year, same location. But we'll send that all out to you, and you'll be able to see that and do that.
And in terms of, there's a handful of people asking what about this place or that place, as far as like trainings and such go. There's nothing officially planned, but occasionally, when essentially we travel, we'll sometimes do like a workshop and such. Like we've done ones in the past in the UK, in Atlanta, in Australia. I think maybe a ways back we may have even done one in New Zealand. And yeah, there's no set plans on anything else besides the future one in London. And I think at one point we maybe talked about possibly Atlanta, but there's nothing set in stone past that. But when we do, we will make an announcement of that. But that's partly why we actually do these live trainings every Wednesday, so you can also get like trainings and stuff each week regardless of where you are. But obviously in person has like a lot of major advantages, because again, there's a lot more content that can be packed into a day, and you have the chance to basically interact with us a lot more in ways that are much more hard to do on a call and such. So, and once more, guys, for that link for the Facebook group, go to getwebfire.com/FB group, and leave a comment in the post where Sharon's basically asking what you thought of today's call. And we'll pick a random winner in a couple minutes here. So, Sean, any other questions before we do the giveaway?
Sure. Okay, so now because we started showing everybody these levels, we got to start all over again. Okay, when you log into WebFire, and that lower left-hand side, you're going to see a level. Okay, that has nothing to do with what you paid for. That has nothing to do with the access you have to the software. Everybody got access to all the same stuff. It's simply tracking whether or not you're logging in and using the software, and your level will go up over time as you log in and use the software more. So this is just an internal tracking thing you can do, and Brian's idea was to eventually turn this into kind of a gamification thing where as you level up, you get some kind of bonus or prize or something.
And that's a future update. Yeah.
That's a future. But don't worry about the fact that Brian's a level 2 and you're a level 1 and maybe you're not missing out on anything. This is the problem when we start talking about these little detailed things, is that it tends to raise more questions than it answers sometimes and gets people confused, and there's a lot to do already without getting confusing. All right. Dennis, are you asking, do we accept Payoneer payments, or are you asking if you could use Payoneer yourself? Because you could, but it's not something that we're integrated with in terms of us accepting payments. All right. Terry asked a question about help a reporter, and I didn't see it, Terry. Can you paste that question in again? There's a few hundred of you and not enough of us. And then while he's doing that, or she's doing that, I'm not sure which, Paul asked, when are you going to be able to see the Facebook ads of your competitors in the Ad Spy tool?
No, so in the Ad Spy tool that we're working on including as a feature, that specifically would spy on websites and such, and it will see what those, what the websites are basically advertising, and it right now allows you to easily contact those ones as well with a click of a button. It does not spy on the Facebook side, which is a little bit different. We can look into what that might entail, but no, as of right now, that's just on the website side, because
okay. So I want to be really clear on this, because I don't want someone to be like, last week you said you were going to create a Facebook spy tool and give it to us for free. So, because people get confused when we start talking about this random stuff, Brian, I don't want anyone to get confused that we're about to go configure several dozen servers to randomly track and go pull data out of Facebook, because in order to create a real Facebook spy tool, you need to run multiple servers with multiple fake user accounts so that you can see all the ads that are running in Facebook and why, okay? Because Facebook doesn't allow you to scrape it. So you'd have to go create a whole bunch of fake stuff, which Facebook doesn't like, in order to do all this. Yeah. So don't all get excited and think we're giving you this Facebook spy tool because somebody asked a question and we answered it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look into this and see what the API might allow there. But the reason why the website one, I think, is more essentially critical and important is it allows you to quickly right now, through the tool that we have right now, you can quickly and easily contact those places. So not only can you see what the guys are basically advertising and what's being advertised on those sites, but you can quickly contact those places to see about running your own ads and such, which you couldn't even do on the Facebook side. So yeah, so that's the whole purpose of that.
Good, and let's answer Terry's question. Can you see it down the bottom?
Yes, but I like Elizabeth's question of how do I log into webfire.com/members. You go to that link and you enter your username and your password. So not quite sure what your question is, or if you're overthinking that, but that's for members, obviously, and if you're missing any info, just make sure to contact the support. All right, so Terry asked here, how do the reporters use my report to get free, or to get traffic to me? Do I include a link on the report? So you're overthinking. So it's not a report. So on helpareporter.com, you're not including a report with anything. So a reporter or like a journalist will ask a question. Like, let's say they're writing a piece on weight loss, and it's specifically about a certain diet. They might ask a question that goes out to the experts, which you can be, and it might be a question like, hey, what is your experience with such and such diet, or what is your opinion of this versus that. Or if you're like, let's say, in internet marketing, the question might be like, why should a business try to get ranked on Google, or simple things like that, where you're not sending them a report or anything like that. Usually it's just like, maybe at tops like a paragraph or so. They, and in the end, they'll usually probably just use like a single quote. And how you get basically traffic off that is if you end up in a newspaper or a magazine or on a radio or anything like that, and they mention a quote from you, you can get a lot of publicity through that. And oftentimes they'll also include, name of a business or a site too, just to kind of help you out. Like let's say your name's Terry, and you have a website on how to train dogs, and a reporter is writing an article on the best ways to train your dogs, and you give a quote, and they use that. They might say in their article, Terry of dogtrainingguide.com says yada yada yada, and that's how you get again the publicity off that. So not only can that give you traffic and such, but it makes you look like an expert. And when guys happen across you in the future, they'll see that, hey, this guy must know what he's actually talking about, because he's mentioned in other articles and newspapers and magazines and stuff, and even on other blogs and stuff out there, which is all a win-win. And you can find that in the future they might refer back to you as well and such there. So that can work quite well there. And I've done stuff like that over the years, and it's a lot easier than you might think. And there's some opportunities in there to even get like an interview on stuff like radio and stuff that is very, very easy and can get again extra publicity and stuff. All right.
All right, so Glenn had a good question. Can you tie this into a social media campaign for synergy? Sure. Anytime you're getting publicity, so you'll say you getting written up in an article, or they're using your content and linking to you, you would want to post up on your Facebook account or your Twitter account or whatever social media you have, or your email list. Hey guys, check out the cool article that I just got written about in whatever, in the London Times or the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Journal, whatever the name of the paper is here, right? You would want to mention that, or you're posted up on somebody's blog. I mean, you would just go ahead and reference your credibility enhancement from this other service, and just share that and be able to post that up. Dan says he has a blog and he's got lots and lots of replies on it, which is great. Some of them are just junk replies where you're getting spammed in the comments, and should you ignore those? Yes, just ignore all the spam comments, because we do get people from time to time. They're like, hey, can you automatically do this, that, or the other thing for where you can automatically like just spam forums and all this other stuff. And this is one of the reasons we don't, is because in the end it doesn't work, because nobody's going to let you go spam their forum, be like, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Doesn't work. If it worked, Brian and I, with all the software program we have, we'd just be sitting back every day and spamming the universe. Okay, but spamming the universe doesn't work. Nobody likes it. You don't get results, etc., from doing it. And so just don't do those. Get them out of there, or just ignore them. And so you'll be in there. All right. There we go. Getting that done. Francis, the first domain you mentioned, I really like. That's good. I won't tell everybody what it is, because I'm assuming you didn't buy it yet, and nobody needs to know. All right. I think we're good, Brian, if you want to just go give away money.
Get some cash flow.
Because that always takes a minute anyway.
Yep. All right. So
and given our technical challenges today, the whole thing will probably break, right as Brian goes to give away money, and we won't be able to give it away. What a shame.
With that, guys, you have one last chance to, again, leave a comment in Sharon's post asking what you thought of the call. Go to getwebfire.com/FB group, and I'll refresh that page. All right. So it's just right here, which says how did everyone enjoy today's call, and the comments are all under right here. Load those all up. There's a handful that posted below that as well, but ideally if you post here, that'd be great, but I'll still count ones that post outside of that. So I'll give you guys maybe 10 seconds to do that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'll refresh it just in case. All right. All right, so I'll count up the ones outside of that first. So some posted on the wrong one, but that's fine. I'll count those two right there. I'll count the outside ones first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 plus.
It's a good thing your youngins can still count this high.
61. All right, so 61. All right, 61. Generate random number.
42.
Start there.
I was close.
So 8. So this is easy to count now. All right, so 8 down. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Rosa Timmons.
No, just Rose.
Rose.
And if you look like a rose, this is you. Go ahead, say it, Brian.
So if you look like this person right here, and you share the same name, congratulations, you're $100 richer, or you will be as soon as you post up your PayPal email to Sharon. So just mention that in the chat box, and Sharon will get that over to you this afternoon. So again, congrats to Rose. Yeah, again, she wins the $100. And with that, guys, make sure again each week Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time we'll have a new call. And if there's any topics or anything that you'd like to hear more on, feel free to let us know, and we definitely can try to gear some future calls towards that right there. So with that, Sean, are there any last-minute questions or anything like that? And then we can wrap up because we're a bit past the hour right here, I see.
No, I want to just thank everybody for being here, participating, taking action. Some people said they're going to see me in London. That's great. Looking forward to that. And we'll have all that info out shortly, but you can just mark that date in your calendar and keep it open. And just go out, take action. We'll have this replay posted up in the member area by morning, probably even later tonight in a couple hours, but definitely by morning. So you can review it, and all the other ones, as Brian showed you, are posted there. So thank you very much for participating, and let's go out and get a lot done this week. Thanks.
And guys, if you have any other questions that pop up or anything like that, feel free to use the help desk inside the members area where it says support on the top right side, or just write support@webfire.com. Help desk is preferred though because it stops any spam issues or and anything like that. But if not, just write support@webfire.com, and they'll be happy to answer you there as well. So with that, guys, I look forward to seeing you next week, and have a great rest of this week too. And Sean, good luck with the storms that are about to hit you too.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.